This week we are talking about Sinners. This is Ryan Coogler's new film, starring the guy who stars in all of his movies, Michael B. Jordan, um, and also Michael B. Jordan, and Haley Steinfeld, and Delroy Lindo. Um, what did you think of this movie? I'm curious what you thought.
I think I had a pretty good first half ish, and the payoff just blundered it all, in my
Really
opinion. Yeah.
interesting. I was bored in the first half, and I thought the second half was entertaining.
Yeah, I could see that too. It's not,
The thing
yeah,
is I knew they were vampires, right? Because we knew the vampires in the trailers, so it wasn't a reveal.
yeah,
So then I was just like, I know this is all set up for the vampires to come, so let's get this going. And it was almost a distinct first and second half. Like it was like
yeah,
set up, set up, set up, set up. Crap hits the fan. Like it was like,
yeah.
um, and I, um, yeah. I mean, I want to get it. I think we should just get like give our very short opinion and just get into spoilers because they're like, I mean,
Okay.
okay, so they're twins and they're like gangsters and they were in Chicago and then they decided to leave Chicago because they're like this isn't any different from being in the South. So they're back and they're rekindling relationships with people and they want to have a juke joint, so they bought a old mill to have their juke joint and have their first party, um, for basically black people to have a place for having fun and drinking and stuff. That's the setup of the movie,
Yeah,
until
but
people
that's
show up,
like,
right?
it's like an hour and a half or something of setup.
It's an hour. It's like almost exactly an hour. It's like literally almost exactly an hour halves.
Okay.
And then the vampire stuff happens, right?
I didn't know exactly, but it just felt long.
It is
But
pretty
yeah.
much exactly an hour, like
Okay.
split. Because
Okay.
this movie is like an hour and 15, two and a half, you know what I mean,
Oh yeah,
2:15.
2:15. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then there's credits, right? Um,
Hmm.
and there is a mid credit scene for sure. Um, and I remember people were saying like you have to stay for the
Oh,
end credits, the
I
end
didn't
end
stay.
credits.
I didn't stay for any of them. So you'll have
Really?
to. Yeah, you'll have to tell me.
Why not? Why are
I
you
didn't.
stupid?
I didn't know there was any.
You know there's gonna be something with this.
I
You're
just didn't care. I guess.
you're oh my god. Okay, well definitely will be spoilers here. As for you too, apparently.
Yes. Yeah.
Um all right. Yeah, okay. Overall I thought the movie was pretty well done. I mean, it looked good. I thought the acting was good. Um I mean, I'm for some reason I'm kind of down more with ridiculous, crazy stuff happening in movies. So I mean, I'm okay with it. So you didn't like the ending, okay? So what rating are you at?
Um, I'm gonna say 6 right now, but we'll see how we talk in the spoilers. Maybe I go up to a 7. But um, I just feel like the last act really blundered. Like I feel like there was all this setup and it all went nowhere and it was all for nothing and what a waste of time, in my opinion. Um, but maybe the end credit scene was like so crazy that maybe my opinions should change. So that's why I'm leaving it up in the air. But I'm at a 6 for what I saw.
All right. Well, okay, let's talk about spoilers here. Why do you
Spoilers.
We're talking spoilers for this movie. Why do you think it was wasted?
Because we go through all these kind of backstories, and they're not really shown. They're just talked about. Like you said, he's rekindling their relationships, and I mean, everyone dies. So, and then it's not even done well, and the action was kind of lame. And then it almost became just kind of like a slasher film or something to me. And they could have, like, they were vampires, but they just acted like zombies. I don't know. And then I guess the singing is kind of a cool idea, and I like that one guy doing his little Irish jig, but um
That was so cringe.
yes,
It
it
was
was.
so cringe. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
It just their payoff was just bad for me, and I don't know. It felt like the relationships that they spent so long trying to build up was just nothing. It didn't amount to anything, in my opinion. Um, yeah, so that's why I'm
All
down
right.
on the movie. Yeah,
So let's talk about the mid-credit scene that you could have waited 2 minutes to see. 2 minutes. It
I
was
had
literally they showed
I
the
had to
credits.
pee
The
really bad.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was so short. Anyway, so they showed the old version of Sammy playing, right? You saw that.
Yeah, because
And you just had
yeah,
to wait a little bit longer. So he finishes his thing. He has his little club that he's playing at, right? He's sitting at the bar. The bouncer comes up to this old guy and he goes, to old Sammy here, and he goes, I got two people out front. They want to come in. Can they come in? And he's like, yeah, you can let them in. And then they're like, okay, you can come in. And it is Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld walk in their 90s getup. He's got like a Cosby sweater on, and she's like in her cool outfit or whatever. And they come in, and they're like, surprise, we're not dead. And he talks to Sammy there, and he says, I promised my brother that I wouldn't kill you. I would let you live your life. Because he said, and he's like, my brother's been protecting me, my whole life or whatever. And so he lets him live as long as he doesn't kill Sammy. So the Stack and whatever her name is still alive. So they're not all dead.
okay.
Um,
Doesn't say the
and
movie, but okay. Is there
and
anything
he
else?
said he's like he asked him like, how does it feel or whatever, and he's or what did you think, he asked him how do you feel or whatever. He's like, because before the vampire stuff happens, that was the best night of my life or whatever. And he was like, I got to live my life. I can keep I can let you live forever. And he said, the only thing that I miss is that I don't. That was the last time. That was a good night because I'd never get to see my brother again, and I don't get to see the sunlight ever again, and blah blah blah. I'll never get to see a sunrise, blah blah blah. And then he says, "See you around," and then he leaves. And then that's the end of the scene. It's a long scene. The scene is like 5 minutes long. Like, yeah.
I'm realizing this. Yes.
Yes, this is like honestly, this should have been at the end of the movie instead of a credit scene. But yeah, so it had a nice little bow there that you didn't see. Um,
Sure. Okay.
and then the end credit scene, like at the end, is just him singing, like the actor singing
Oh.
with the guitar. So that was worthless. You didn't need to see that, but the other one literally was like part of it there.
Okay.
Um, so yeah.
All right.
Um, so yeah, not everybody dies, but yeah, most people die in the movie. Um, okay, so yeah, I thought the setup was kind of boring because I kind of knew where it all was going, right? So I mean, it was fine. I just thought another part of the setup is them acting off of him acting off of himself was always looked weird. Um, there's like a scene where he's like, "I love you," and then they like show the other side. He's like, "I love you too," and they're like hugging, clearly not him, right? So it was like very
Yeah,
weird.
it was just cringe. Like,
Yeah, when they were separate, it was fine because it was just they're just acting, right? He's just acting. I think
yeah, and he's so like famous. It's just like it takes me out of the movie by
I
having
will
two of them.
say I will say I think he did a good job. You know, they were distinctly different guys. I think they did he did that well, at least, and I think Haley Steinfeld did a good job in because she had to be like the nice one, and then like when she was a villain. I think the villain guy did a really good job, and I liked the setup of the vampires that they have like distinct rules and stuff. I liked that. I liked that kind of like lore that he set up for them. Is kind of interesting. They're like the mind meld kind of thing, and like that
Hmm.
I thought all that was kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, but then they all just and then they like die, so it's not like you can't get like any of their backstory really, other than he's like Irish. Like
Yep.
that was like his whole backstory. Like they didn't give him like any like reasoning for anything or whatever. Also liked how they were all like really nice, you know, and then they go crazy. I like the vampire lore stuff that they set up in this movie. And I don't know. I liked the music thing where it's like where they had that whole scene. I know will be remembered where he's like playing the music and like the spirits from the past and the future are playing, and like that scene was really good. I like a lot of the setup and the lore that he sets up in this movie, but it's still a vampire horror movie, kind of campy stuff. But then
Hmm.
it's also like, you know, racism in the South and the, picking cotton and
I guess, but then all of that gets thrown out at the end anyways because they're just fighting vampires. So it was like
right. That's what
this
I'm saying. It's just
felt
like a
redundant.
lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think this movie could have been a complete and utter disaster, and it wasn't. And I was seeing the trailers and stuff. I was worried that's what it's going to be, but I thought I got a pretty decent movie, you know. Um, and I thought it looked really good. Like I didn't think any of like the CG looked bad or anything. Um, I don't know. I
There
thought,
was nothing really to CG except like maybe the like final bit at the end there.
and I also thought like the atmosphere, like they like set it. He set it up well enough that the tone was there, and like you know and I thought the vampires were creepy, like the designs were creepy and stuff. I think all the right pieces were there, but it's still a vampire campy vampire movie, so that brings it down a little bit. You know what I mean? So it just kind of, I think it just kind of evens out for me. Um,
Okay. I don't know.
yeah,
I just thought it was going to be more. There was only going to be like two or three vampires, and you know, through their friendships and whatnot, they could overcome the night type of thing. And it just ended up being a slaughter fest, and not even a good one at that. Um, thing like that whole, I get nitpicky with things,
you do.
and
Go ahead.
they just it doesn't make any sense. They have so basically the Asian lady just loses her mind for some reason and is like, we're gonna fight because
Hmm.
that's what makes sense, which I found stupid. But anyways, that's what happens, right? She dies basically immediately, killing one person. And then so they're like shooting them, and they keep showing vampires grab people. And we know who, like, there's only like 6 of them in there. We know every single one. But they go in and they start grabbing people. Like, I have to rewatch, but they grab like 3 or 4 people and like eat them or whatever. But if they had grabbed and eaten anyone, it would have been one of the people we knew, because we knew everyone in the barn. So that's like not matching up in my brain, and it's annoying me. And then because we get every person in that barn gets their own death sequence, right? So I don't know who they were attacking. So that bugs me. And
That's a good
then
question. Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, that bugged me. They start attacking them and they're fighting them off. I'm trying to think who dies first. It was the Asian lady first. And then basically the love interest gets killed in the barn, I'm pretty sure, who shows up a little later at the end. And then the piano guy was like, I'm just going to cut myself and stand here doing basically nothing. And he's like the slowest death of all time for some reason. I guess he's supposed to be stalling them. But so he dies, and then Michael B. Jordan and his cousin go upstairs. Also, there's the love interest of the cousin. She just dies too.
Yeah.
And then once they're up there, that gets even worse. I guess they make some kind of deal up there, like is what you were saying.
Yeah, they show like him about to stab him or whatever, and they're just looking at each other. He just says it. They don't like show the scene. Like they show a little bit, but they don't like show them making the deal, right?
Okay. Which might explain it, but somehow he just teleports past like 20 vampire zombies singing and stabs main Irishman villain in the back front. Like he just teleports from the top of the barn, which is where they're at, past all of the zombies, vampires.
They are there, aren't they?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, they're all standing like right behind him doing their whole, I don't know if they were singing or whatever. They were doing something.
I will say they were in the water. So
yes, the two of them were in the water. So he not only teleported past all the people, he went in the water, unheard.
Yeah, you would hear like psh, psh, psh. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, were they moving at the time? I think they were moving at the time. They're fighting and
he literally
struggling.
He hit him with the guitar, and he's got the
thing so they're struggling. So I guess he could unheard.
All of the other vampires are just blind, deaf, and dumb at this moment.
Yeah, I will say that is stupid. I agree with that. Yeah.
I don't know. They needed to really stick the landing on this one for me, and they just fumble that whole thing. And like I said, some people are dying, but we don't know who they are somehow. I don't know. It was filmed very weirdly. Maybe they had more people in that barn previously, and it was an editing thing. I don't know. But
I literally didn't even like.
Yeah, you didn't even think of it. I know. I noticed these things, and it bothers me. Yeah,
I get it. No, that one I will say is completely valid.
Yeah. And then with all those people just dying anyways, it just like, why did I have to watch a whole hour of this? I feel like it could have been cut down to like 30 minutes for that setup and then go crazier at the end. I don't know.
No, I think that this movie could have been shorter. I think the setup was too much, but I think they did want to give each character like some sort of
well, that was actually the part I liked about the movie. I just felt like it amounted to nothing in the finale. Like none of the relationships mattered. I could have just not known them at all, and you could have still had the same death sequence.
Yeah, that is funny because I thought the first half was kind of boring.
But, I mean, I knew the vampire thing was coming. I just didn't I thought it was going to be done better in the finale, so I thought the payoff was going to be better.
Oh, I liked him shooting all those guys though. I did like that.
When everyone likes it when the main character shoots a bunch of bad guys that are bigots. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
KKK guys. Yeah, it's like Nazis and KKK guys. Yeah, those guys can
yeah, he has his
get
little
killed.
one man army thing. But there's even things in that that's like he's sniping from the edge of the forest, right? Okay, fine. For some reason, he has the gun buried like 20 feet in front of him. Why didn't you just have it on your hip or something? But he goes in, I've had this plan. I have it buried 2 feet in front of me for some
Yeah.
reason. And then he starts mowing them down, and they're all just like dumb and can't shoot one guy for some reason.
What I think is interesting that you didn't nitpick in the vampire ending thing is these vampires are literally have in this lore are really like strong and fast.
Yeah,
Why
that's
is
true.
Michael B. Jordan one Michael B. Jordan twin who's human
Being
like
able to
beating
fight him
up
off. He's a
the
soldier boy,
one?
man. Soldier
Yeah,
boy.
and that just they made that made no sense. That is like he would be kicking his he should be smacking him across the way. Like it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
So it was all
definitely
bad. And then so they're attacking like the people down at the bottom, and then the main guy and the girl are like, "Let's go. Let's get out of here." And then but the other rest of the vampires are still attacking. And then they come around the whole barn and jump up to the top. It was just so goofy. I don't know.
yeah. I agree. The campiness stuff. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I just maybe my threshold is higher. I don't know.
Well, and I was
Um,
seeing lots of good reviews for this too, so I might have just gotten my hopes up. I was like, this beginning was pretty decent. I will say, yeah, it was kind of boring, a little slow, but I was like, let's see what they do with it. And then I was just disappointed.
this is what I'll say. This movie was wholly original, other than I know vampires is a concept that's been around, right?
Yeah, no, I
I
think that
appreciate
should
that
get
it's
something.
original
Yeah.
and um, it was different, and there was things that I liked about it. There's a lot of things I liked about the movie actually, and I think these are movies that we should talk about. I mean, we could talk about whatever a bit, Daredevil or whatever, but I think like movies like this and Ryan Coogler, I think deserves at least to. We should at least see something that he makes that's original. Every movie that I've seen Ryan Coogler's has been good. I think he deserves to get you know to see when we could talk about his movie.
Hmm.
I think Michael. I think there's a lot of good. Um, Everyone did a good job in this. The lady who is Smoke's love interest is the lady from Loki. I think she
Hmm.
did a pretty good job.
I thought it was really weird that when he was dying, though, they were like, you're going to be breastfeeding for some reason. I thought that was like very unnecessary. Like they could have made this movie PG-13 and had more people see it. I don't know. That's my opinion, but
They want the blood. They want the blood,
you
right?
can still have blood.
You can't have blood like that in PG-13.
Okay. No.
You can't have gore. The gore, people's face get blown off and stuff like that in a
Okay.
PG-13.
Fine.
Um,
I just thought the
and
scenes, even like the scene of him peeing, was stupid.
yeah,
Um,
and but I like the vampires. Yeah, the P like I didn't have to actually see his taking a whiz.
yeah, I didn't. Yeah, you could
They
have
could just
just
show.
shown the top half of him.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
It's annoying. It bothers me. Like,
Um, yeah. Well, I think they're just showing her because she's like, with the baby, right? So just like,
yeah, but
I
you
don't
could
know.
have shown her with the baby, not with your whole teeth out.
I th- I would think in a traditional thought, you would think they would have that because they have a daughter or whatever. They would show like a young girl or something instead of like an actual baby.
Honestly, I think it would have been fine if they were just like standing in flowers and she was holding the baby. I think that would have been fine.
Yeah, but they wanted to like have them actually interact, so I think that was the reason. Because they're like, yeah,
there is no reason you can give me that justifies she needed to have her teat out breastfeeding. I'm sorry.
that doesn't bother me. I don't know
It's
why
just
you're
a
weird about it.
it's a
But
weird choice. It's weird.
it's a choice. Well, they want to do mother thing. I don't know. Like she's a mother, whatever. Who cares?
Okay.
I thought the movie was good. I said 7.5. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, I take it for what it is. I see where you have your issues.
Yeah, I agree with you that it is original, and I think Hollywood has just sniffed its farts for so long. When a movie like this comes out, they overrate it.
Yeah.
And like people were giving this like 9s. It's not there. Definitely not.
It's not a bad movie. I think I will continue to see things that Ryan Coogler makes. He's going to continue to make at least good stuff.
I think if he still creates original stuff, I mean, I'll give it a chance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I might be getting tired of Michael B. Jordan in every single one. Maybe branch out a little bit, but I think he's a good director. Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. I think that wraps up our episode for this week. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until then,
this has been the Daniel and Andrew Show. Thank you for watching part of the Daniel and Andrew Show. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. If you don't like looking at our faces, no problem. There's always a full audio version of the podcast wherever you find your podcast. Thank you and enjoy.